Homesteading, page 176. Edible wild plants and mushrooms. Juniper. Description. Also known as cedar. This shrub has very small, scaly leaves that are densely crowded on the branches. Berry-like cones on the plant are usually blue and are covered with a whitish wax. Location. They grow in open, dry, sunny places throughout the country. Edible parts and preparing. Both berries and twigs are edible. The berries can be consumed raw, or the seeds may be roasted to make a substitute for coffee. Dried and crushed berries are good to season meat. The twigs can be made into a tea. And that's a picture of juniper. Lotus. Description. This plant has large yellow flowers and leaves that float on or above the surface of the water. The lotus fruit has a distinct flattened shape and possesses of around 20 hard seeds. Location. Found on fresh water in quiet areas. The lotus plant is native to North America. Edible parts and preparing. All parts of the lotus plant are edible, raw or cooked. Bake or boil the lotus plant are edible. Lotus plant are edible. Raw or cooked, bake or boil the fleshy parts that grow underwater and boil young leaves. The seeds are quite nutritious and can be eaten raw, or they can be ground into flour. Marsh marigold. Description. Marsh marigold has round, dark green leaves and a short stem. It also has bright yellow flowers. Location. The plant can be found in bogs and lakes in the northeastern states. Edible parts and preparing. All parts can be boiled and eaten. Do not consume any portion raw. And that's a picture of the marsh marigold. Over here was the picture of the lotus on the water. Mulberry. Description. The mulberry tree has alternate lobed leaves with rough surfaces and blue or black seeded fruits. Location. These trees are found in forested areas and near roadsides in temperate and tropical regions of the United States. Edible parts and preparing. The fruit can be consumed either raw or cooked, and it can also be dried. Make sure the fruit is ripe, or it can cause hallucinations and extreme nausea. Here's a picture of the mulberry. Nettle. Nettle plants grow several feet high and have small flowers. The stems, leaf stalks, and undersides of the leaves all contain fine, hair-like bristles that cause a stinging sensation on the skin. Page 176. Location. This plant grows in moist areas near streams or on the edges of forests. It can be found throughout the United States. Edible parts and preparing. The young shoots and leaves are edible. To eat, boil the plant for 10 to 15 minutes. That's a picture of the nettle plant. Oak. Description. These trees have alternating leaves and acorns. Red oaks have bristly leaves and smooth bark on the upper part of the tree, and their acorns need 2 years to reach maturity. White oaks have leaves with no bristles and rough bark on the upper part of the tree. Their acorns only take 1 year to mature. Location. Found in various locations and habitats throughout the country. Edible parts and preparing. All parts of the tree are edible, but most are very bitter. Shell the acorns and soak them in water for 1 to 2 days to remove their tannic acid. Boil the acorns to eat or grind them into flour for baking. Palmetto palm. Description. This is a tall tree with no branches and has a continual leaf base on the trunk. The leaves are large, simple, and lobed, and it has dark blue or black fruits that contain a hard seed. Location. This tree is found throughout the southeastern coast. Edible parts and preparing. The palmetto palm fruit can be eaten raw. The seeds can also be ground into flour, and the heart of the palm is a nutritious source of food. But the top of the tree must be cut down in order to reach it. Persimmon. Description. The persimmon tree has alternating elliptical leaves that are dark green in color and in conspicuous flowers. It has orange fruits that are very sticky and contain many seeds. Here's that picture right there. I'm assuming that's the persimmon. Kind of looks like peaches. This big old one up here has to be the palmetto plant. Looks like a palm tree. I guess that's what it is, a palm tree. And oak. And it shows that with the acorns. End of page.